from the sun. For my daughters, yeah, it's for my twin. I work through the night, I do what I like. Get a check, I go for the ride. I've been down the ride for the win. Still move on the hush, never run for none. I face my fears, I just drop a 9. Month to month, still from year to year. New watch, no diamonds, new watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, new watch, good timing, yeah. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. Get some checks, I invest, and I spend a check. Spend a check, get it back, then I take a rest. Only race is the human, I take care of my skin. I was doing this as a rookie, now I'm up to vet. Set the trend, set the pace of play. I don't trip, but if I fall, bet I make a way. I take trips in the fall, watch the leaves change. I like to treat every day like it's my D-Day. New watch, no diamonds, new watch, good timing, yeah. New watch, no diamonds, new watch, good timing, yeah. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich, I'm sporty and rich. Do it again, again, again. Do it again, again, again. Do it again, again, again.
be the Banshees, 0-1. Westy, 2. 2-1-2, Dilemma in their debut Banshees game. They recently moved up from the Crackers into the Banshees. 2-4, Chaos. 3-6-0, Merry Extreme. 4-0-4, Fleabag. 4-5, England Wonder. 8-2, Slam. 8-3, Vicious Citrus. 1-1-7, Faster Chief. 3-1-3, Lemon. And 5-5, Mini Boy. And skating white are the Fire Towers with 1-2-3-4, Disgrace. 1-5-5, Power Runner. They will be called Cow through this commentary. That's how I know them. 1-6, Furious D. 1-6-0, Little Fury. 1-8, Frontiera. 5-6-7-8, G0. 3-5-1, Lotto. 4-9-5, L. 5-5-5-5, the Mascota. 7, Jack Spike. 2-2-2-2, Feral Ferret. And 2-7, Mitsoff. I will go through the official screen later when I actually have a moment to do so, but we are under 10 seconds to Derby. While everything is getting set up, everything is underway shortly, just as officials are coming into position and the teams are coming out. Both of these teams are close to my heart. Currently with Southsea, formerly Diamond Valley, so I am really looking forward to this game. Glad I get to commentate it. This one is the Wilson. I believe that is OG as our jam time. That is underway. We have Fleabag 404 in red up against Lotto 351 in white. So this first jam is our jam. It's very good enough and quickly. Lotto being recycled to the back of the pack. First points for the game, given to Fleabag. If you can pick up there, Stars Indian forward. That might be produced of the Diamond Five Tails accent to make the outside and out of their initial. They can jump off full and pull in a box. Furious D lining up for Diamond Valley. That looks like it's Vicious Citrus. Just picking up 8 quickly after going to the outside and then jigging back into the middle. Furious D up against a formidable tripod of Westy K and One Hit Wonder. Citrus picking up point soon. Furious D getting out from there initially. We do have one energy in the box at the moment. Furious D about to hit the back and has and while the Banshees were looking at running it as late as possible to chew up some time there for one hit wonder in the penalty box. They actually managed to time it in a way that Disgrace got out of the penalty box for the Fire Tails. So that actually worked in the advantage of the Fire Tails with that ball. Scores currently Banshee 16, Fire Tails 0. Faster Chief now lining up, doing a long skate around to hit the back. However, that worked in the Fire Tails advantage. Feral Ferret picked up lead. Faster Chief right behind. Furious Ferret. Feral Ferret. Noticing how close Faster Chief was to hitting the Fire Tails pack at the back, pulling it off. Unfortunately, unable to pick up any points in that situation. However, did keep Faster Chief to 0 as well. Red Bag returning as Jen for the Banshee against Water again. Getting out on their own shorts. Red Bag about to hit them. Trying to step around. We've got Elle there, but Elle had positioned themselves in such a way that it was a very difficult step to take. Fleabag pulled it off, only picking up 1 point. Elle on the inside line is always a very difficult pathway to get around because they actually know very well how to position themselves to solidly close down the line, which is amazing. Citrus getting out for lead. Series D weaving their way through a few people there. Nice toast of birth there from PSD. Getting out on their initial. Citrus making sure that they had picked up all 4 points before pulling it off. We have Positive against Feral Ferret again. Slowing Chief down, the Chief needs to move out of the way to pick up lead. Out on their initial. And pulling it off after picking up the 4 points. I am enjoying seeing Watto back as a jammer. They've spent a lot of years playing in pivot, but they had originally started their derby career as a jammer, so I'm seeing them back being used as a kind of actually important thing. And Chloe is lining up now. Might be something level. Yes, it's Lemon lining up for the Banshees. So Lemon Squeezy with lead. Jazz is a different role for what Lemon usually plays. However, they did actually make their debut in a matchup between them and Rebellion, and utilise playing it as a gender hat situation. We have a sneaky star pass there. That's by the star for the Fire Tails. However, Lemon had double points and the score the game on. And we have an unofficial timeout here. So while this is going on, let's go through who our officials are. The non-skating officials we have as our head official, non-skating official, intensive play unit. We have OG, Ginger Snap, Stitcher, Rexy Whistledown, Toots, Hello Birds, Lady Kilton, Buster Hammy, and Leo Sprayer. And on skates, we have as our head rep, Disaster Chief, Crush, Andrew, KO, Gary, Fish, Amina, Lucky, Sophie Path, and Miss Cray Cray. Just on Sophie Path, they've actually, this is their first wins. They actually only returned to skates in the last month after being injured 3 years ago. So this is a huge return. Although the NSOs are going to miss their skill as a non-skating official, I'm not sure if they will actually kind of alternate between the two as they go. It's really nice to actually have Sophie on skates. So scores at the moment, Banshers 29, 5 fails, 0. We have Fleabag running up against Furious D. Fleabag managing to get past Disgrace. Furious D is just up against Chaos, whenever Chaos has managed to get them out. We're going to the best balls made. I don't know. Those jump over the apex on the inside, they would say. Pick it up some cheese for the audience. Back through that. Still working. Unfortunately, picking up a track there. So is currently on a power jam. Checking with their bench coach to see which way they are going to do this. At this stage, they're giving the directions to continue jamming, picking up another 4 points. And during this comments a couple of people that we have around during this game. So we actually have on the bench for South City, Bonnie Joe, who has recently been in the men's World Cup, helping Australia to take them because they were on the bench for the Wizards of Oz. There's also Jack Croft out there as the refs, who was also over there for the Schmear campaign and curiously has the return to track during that conversation. At the end of that jam, it was a 20-point jam for Fleabag. Thankfully, the jam came to its conclusion. Fleabag is currently sitting in the penalty box. We look to have so bring it up African exactly the 5 hours needed. Quickly off the back, get through, picking up the lead. Looks like Jack is ready to fight effectively. Fair, able to picking up points. Fleabag return to the track, starring a little bit of a stall, the people looking to the back of each other. that situation looked like it was all just incidental placement. No penalties involved. Jack making a very big contact from there. Sam trying to see them. Picking up 4 points, getting them into board during Jack. Currently an 8-point jam for that for that Alan that issue. Again, Fighter setting up a little bit of defense, trying to help get as many points as possible. Happening also for 1 point picked up there by Fleaver. How many extra points there for research? So I received any extras going up the board. There were 3 points there for an 11-point channel. Getting the 5 tails onto the scoreboard. Amazing work from Carol for it. Really beautiful offensive work there from Jackson, like opening up the line to help them out through to a quick lead. Mr. Citrus has Citrus wanted to pick up a lead of goals right behind her. And Citrus to come off as a 0-0 jam. Lining up now for the advantages is Prostitute. Weird bit of squealing going on there. And Furious the 45 minutes. Sorry, I'm hoping this is a little bit better. Yeah. And you can hear a little bit more hearing. Prostitute picking up a penalty there, so Furious the working their way through. It looks like Furious Day struggling up against Maple Slam, Pony Boy, and Dilemma. Five has leading them a few more by themselves. Steve has picked up lead Jammer status there as Chief has returned to the battle crew on their own show. Chief picking up the 4 points there as Furious has hit the ground, but they have picked up 3 points there. So it's a 4-3 jam in favour of South Sea. However, again, it was a lead 2-5 tails, heading them to where they needed to be in terms of setting up and controlling the game. We now have Fleabag up against Feral Front. Fleabag with lead. And they have returned to them. Feral Front out on their own street. 4 points picked up by Fleabag, pulling it off. Citrus currently up jamming up against what? Citrus with the lead. What are you right behind? And again, nothing doing that. A gentleman there. Auto being so close to Citrus. Figured to pull it off to be safe. With just points there. We have Faster Chief there up against Farrell Farrell. Chief out for lead. Just trying to work out the microphone position, so hopefully it's not easier to hear. Farrell Farrell out on their initial pass. Chief jumping over the pack, picking up points. Jamden called off 4 points to the Banshees, 0 for the Fighters, 62 to 14 currently. Lemon picking up lead there. Furious D, I believe, is out on track for the Fighters. Yes, it is. Lemon pulling it off. Jack's tonight very happy with Lemon's pass. Always good when we get compliments from the other team. We have just over 12 minutes remaining. I do appreciate the feedback from Corey in regards to the microphone level. Hopefully the commentary volume is better now. What I almost threw another pack, unfortunately being recycled with land Fleabag to pick up lead and get a little bit of space between and Waddle. Fleabag has hit the pack. Pulling it off after picking up 1 point there. Have Ferret and their full profiles, Citrus making their way to the Banshees. Jack and Little Fury making it very difficult for Citrus. But Citrus picking up lead. Harold Ferret making their way out on their initial. Citrus hitting the pack again. Call off third, but was there any sneaky points? No. KTKO putting up the 0 mark there. So I believe that was a 3-0 jam. Furious D up against Faster Chief. Kelly, I love seeing the shout out favourite teams in the Geelong with Club to the Banshees. Oh. G-Zilla and Disgrace. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 combo there. Making it difficult for Chief. Unfortunately, Chief has been standing for a very, very time, very well aware of where their skate position and toe stops are. They need you to stay in and following up the jam. Again, it was a 3-0 jam in favour of the Banshees. We have Waddle against Fleabag. Well, and Jack, again, doing some beautiful duo work to slow Fleabag down. Fleabag out on lead. A little bit of unfortunate position in there for Watto as they were trying to get away with the outside line. Fleabag came through, pushed their into Watto, knocking Watto out, forcing the to recycle there. Before Fleabag does go through to pick up points. Mix of green to take the start. Watto's like, well, I'm at the front now, I'm on my initial doing this. That was a 12-0 jam. Like 7.5 minutes remaining in this half. Citrus landing up against Fat. I was trying to provide a little bit of opportunity there, but actually was more a Parrots favour of the rest of the pack better pick to catch rate. Citrus picking up the lead. And 1 feet skating backwards. Citrus picking up 4 points and pulling it off. So Fury's D up against Chief. Back opting for lining up at the line, however, sucking back now. Chief picking up lead on the inside. As well, the Banshee is making it very difficult there for D to get through. Chief picking up 4 points. I had heard some whistles there, but no one seemed to have been going into the penalty box. Now is taking us for the fire tags. Chief turning backwards on that pass, taking a look at the bench ignoring their look, so maybe Fury stay out on their initial meal. Jack trying with a smile on their face, knowing that they would be lost a lot of their Chief getting fast, calling it off. Just over 5 minutes remaining. They're up against the Lemon. Lemon's long legs just stepping on through of the Barrett. Not behind. Hopefully picking up their foot to make sure that they didn't accidentally go out right on the edge of the engagement zone. For it in the pack, hitting Westy and being slow. Lemons on hard scoring pass. That's what unfortunately unable to stop Lemon. What was it? 8-point jam for the Banshees. It was also a 4-point jam for the Firetails with Feral Ferret managing to pick up all 4 points before the jam had been called. We have Fleabag returning for the Banshees, and it looks like for the first time taking the start in this half, it's Mitzoff. The Mitzoff had been out there as a killer, and that being used as a jam. A few stumbles there, Cal kicking the ground, but also Fleabag kicking the ground. Fleabag with lead. Mitzoff being recycled. Fleabag's waking on past Dilemma there. Repeating the pack again. Mitzoff, a very beautiful turnaround. Really unable to get a bait on front of the pack. Now, on the initial, that was a very, very hard fall. I think she 4 minutes off. Fleabag picked up about the 4 points set. It's been told to keep going. Oh, beautiful backwards there, falling itself on the inside line to get past the pack. Unfortunately, colliding with Fleabag before leaving the engagement zone, allowing the Banshees to suck back on her again. Fleabag colliding with Dilemma putting them in the right line. That was a 20-point jam for Fleabag, 4 points for Mitzoff. First 4 points were a very, very hard for 4 points, but lots of determination, which is also really good to see. Watto has returned as Jenna, up against Citrus. Let's see if we can go for our third double donut jam for these two, because they have been getting through right at the same amount of time. However, no, this jam is going to be in Norwich favour at the moment. There was a on sequence. With the release of G-Zilla, hopefully the fighting flockers can help get what I want. That has occurred. So Watto is the lead for this jam. All the Firetails taking the outside line to get set up right towards the top. All the return from Citrus. Watto tried to tag on at the back, fortunately being shut down or being able to get fully through. That looks like it was a family star pass for the Banshees, with a Citrus being sent back to the penalty box for that one after passing the star to a Chaos. And this will be a power jam start the five tails. Okay, it's actually half time. We've just had the rolling whistle there. So for the second half, we will have five tails starting on a power there to kick it off. I'm just going to go and run through our officials again, just purely because if there was trouble hearing them before, they do deserve some love and attention, so let's give them some love and attention. We have got, as non-skating officials, in terms of Clairview, OG, Ginger Snap, Stitcher, Lexi Whistledown, Toots, Kilohertz, Brady Kiloton, Buster Henry, and Leo Slayer. And for our skating officials, Disaster Chief, Crush, KTKO, Gary, Mishtanina, Lucky, Sophie Mary Craft, and Miss Grey Craig. I will run through the skating roster as well, because again, you missed hearing it before because of audio issues and I talk very quietly. We have skating in red, the Banshees 0-1, Westie 2-1-2 Dilemma in their debut Banshee game, 2-4 Chaos, 3-6-0 Narrow Extreme, 4-0-4 Fleabag, 4-5 1 Wonder, 8-2 Slam, 8-3 Vicious Citrus, 1-1-7 Faster Chief, 3-1-3 Lemon, and 5-5 Greeny Boy. On the right, we have 1-2-3-4 Disgrace, 1-5-5 Rana or Pow, 1-6 Fury Steve, 1-6-0 Little Fury, 1-8 Unsheva, 5-6-7-8 Jigzilla, 3-5-1 Watto, 4-9-5 L, 5-5-5 5 The Lads Model, 7 Jack Spite, 2-2-2-2 Feral Ferret, and 2-7 Bits Off. We will be back in less than 12 minutes, but enjoy your halftime abroad.
show. Heads are turning one by one. What have you done? Mato waka got me yearning. Our bonfire trance got me drumming. Sun is rising. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice in.
I can bring you a mind. I like the way you do it. Love is the only true remedy. I open up to it and I receive it. I am me. I am everything. Skimming by.
It's my call out. Pocahontas, you think I'm loco? You think I'm crazy? Mato waka, Pocahontas, heads are turning one by one. What have you done? Mato waka, Pocahontas, purple goddess, got me wearing crystals. You think I'm loco? Maybe un poco. Heads are burning one by one. It is fun. Abracadabra, you sign my chakra. Sit down for a while, meditate, you fly high. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice in. Shut the mice. Heads are burning one by one. It is fun.
Polka got mad flow. My rhythm tight, so I stretch like the trees grow.
What?
It's a Mata Waka fire show.
We let it burn. If you were triggered, then you must go. The polka no bad beat. My whip kindness, I kill him with that LOV. Yeah. It's a Mata Waka fire show. We let it burn in the night. It's my call, y'all.
And with just under 3 minutes remaining in this half, go through some of the penalties that the teams have picked up. So, for the Banshees, while it is mostly clean, it is actually most of the jammers have penalties in, which is never a great thing. I don't want to give them a power jam, but in this situation, 2 for the cut, Fleabag with a falls, and Citrus with a cut, and that looks like a high or a football. And then for the blockers, one hit wonder if the only blocker cannot be of a multiplayer. Looking at the front house again, really nice and clean there. One jam with a penalty there with Fury's team getting cut, and 3 blockers with penalties again, nothing major there, a couple of cuts, a direction, and a multiplayer. So both teams staying really, really clear there. Yeah, just over a minute remaining. After this game, it is going to be me on the microphone again, being joined by Sparks, and it's going to be me, so Nerd and West Side, up against the team for today, the Premier League, Geelong, and that's at 1 o'clock. A little bit of stats being thrown up on the screen there. A stream provider, Sports Connection Australia. The officials are just having their final chats there. It's amazing. I love it. Fighters are already out on track. Final chance from the Dashies before they move on out. And chiefly final instructions to the Zebra huddle. I'm having a little bit of a lineup battle over the pivot line. So as I said earlier, we are having a power jam start for the fighters. Exactly what they need to start strong in this half. Citrus will be expected to 30 seconds in the hold box. And the ground is coming into close. For wasting no time to get through, picking up the lead. Beautiful offense there. 4 points picked up already. Five males setting up, ready up for the return of Citrus. The Jack providing offense at 12 minutes, so Ferret can come back 4 points. In terms of power jam start, that was excellent, beautiful by Errol Ferret. Citrus now out on initial. Ferret picking up one of the points. That was a 12-0 jam there. Closing the gap to under 100 points now. Banshees 133 to Diamond Valley 37. We have Faster Chief lining up. General Shima is in Potter, and I could not see them behind. Oh. It is Watto. Chief has picked up the lead. Watto making their way slam, not far behind to go out on the issue. Was that a snipe there? Yes, it was. That was amazing there by Watto, picking up 1 point before the call-off from succeeded. 4 points to HG. 99 points the difference there. But Watto showing why it is important to continue skating to the end of the whistles. We have for the Banshees picking up lead against Ferret. Follow up with Prairie. That was a 4-0 jam. Beautiful timing there by Lemon. Well, it has only been 3 jams. What I am seeing here that is different to the first half is even when not lead, there is that pressure of getting out quickly by the 5Ks, but they're actually making sure that there are not huge jams being picked up, like huge points really. So if they can continue this pressure, that would be fantastic. And Diamond Valley have historically been very much the second half team. And they always seem to do that, working out exactly what's been trouble for them and being able to react after half time, adding about it to kind of close down what's not working. Unfortunately, in this situation, Watto has been trapped for a little bit and picking up a penalty there. Levi is lead, so let's see what the Banshees decide to do. They are running it at this stage. They do apologise to the Firetails if that was the commentary curse. Benches are playing mostly passive offense there in power team, leaving making Slam as the original partner providing offense for Fleabag in that last pass. With Waters return. Has started hand. And the jam is from Cop. Some hugs there between Watto and Winnie Boy, having skated against each other, with each other a lot in the past. As you can see on the screen at the moment, just that cumulative score by Jam. Just slowly working its way up. Not exponentially, slowly. Oh, beautiful lead there from third. And it is another power jam. Yeah, for the power tails. The second half is going straight forward. Jack has come into the middle of the track to act as offense. Trying very hard to ensure maximum scoring chances for Ferry. Kane with that last line of defense trying to catch at the front. Ferret making their way out of the engagement zone, picking up 4 points there. A little bit of a mixed combo in terms of offense up from Firetails there. That looked like they were lining up with one offense and then the 3 coming in after to try and help out. We have Citrus back on track. Getting through on their initial. Banshees have settled a little bit with their tripod, just really fighting down, making it difficult for Ferret. Ferret calling that pass off just before Citrus hit the pack again. That was a 7-0 jam in favour of Valley. Faster Chief going up. Is that off the Valley? It's G-Zilla. Chief working their way on the outside through lead. How providing some offense there to try and help out G-Zilla. Unfortunately, the experience of Slam and Pony Boy managing to swarm around and suck back New Zealand. Reset there, but by New Zealand, making sure that they don't get picking off a cut track. Chief picking up some points there. Now, New Zealand is a relatively to Valley skater, so this is a really nice challenge for them. They are fighting very, very hard, but they are up against a lot of very, very experienced jammers and very, very expensive offers in this situation. With there from Furious D knocking Chief back and having to reset there. G-Zilla coming out on their initial. Chief checking with the bench to see what they are doing. Skating on past G-Zilla. Back speeding up a little bit, trying to stop Chief from being able to score so freely. This is going easy with a pick out there. Starting to get into a little bit of the micro pack situation with both teams having blockers being sent to the penalty box. Finding out things called by Diamond Valley. And that looks like one of Diamond Valley's almost all coming back on the bench. And Slappuccino, the bench being headed up. Slappuccino, Groove Reaper. I do not know what Jerry's name is. Jerry's there, I believe Roxy's over there as well. And Mr. Groove doing the mirroring. And for the Banshees, it's South Sea Store in Bon Jovi. Who's, I believe, Kingpin or Pinshot. Not sure what they're doing at the moment. And him on the bench. There's been a few changes. Nothing cute, so I'll follow them to you. The Zebra Huddle is taking this time out to have a little bit of a chat with each other, a bit of a break. Chatting with Intimacy and Hawkeye. Lots of camaraderie in the middle. You do have on the outside, as one of the OPRs, Lucky. This is actually, I believe, Lucky's last round as an official, as they are moving to Canada in a month. So wishing that Lucky very, very well on their move. Huge life change for them. Jamie back on that. That's very, very up against Fleabag lead. Furious D is making life very difficult there before Fleabag being backed up by Jack Spite, Mad Slaughter, and a Little Fury. Little Fury realizing that they were moving out of position, so they wanted to get back up in front of Fleabag, make it difficult again. Not too outdone. We've got the triangle of Dilemma, One Hit Wonder, and Westy, with a providing backup support for the Banshees. Now, this is actually an interesting fact, as One Hit Wonder and Dilemma. Still, this is their first official time being a Banshee. They did for last statewide as a guest for the Banshees, because the time they are now a Banshee. And One Hit Wonder actually moved up at the last Stampede. So that pack had a couple of brand new to the Banshees skaters. Also two very, very experienced skaters. End of that jam was a 12-0. I actually just thought Lucky had hit the ground on the outside for another, but no, they were doing track maintenance. OG Ricky Whistle, not realising that there was track maintenance going on. However, nice and Shadana by opting to get back into position after making sure everything was safe. Citrus with the lead. Water is being swamped at the back there. lemons out there as a new car. Yeah. Then they would be feeling muchly relieved over. However, I have been enjoying watching lemon as a jammer. Watto does have starring hands. Little Furies are a little bit I shouldn't say, a little bit preoccupied, I should say, with they were holding Citrus back and now holding Pack. Citrus would reset. Start pass has occurred, unfortunately. The Firetails, the Matthews were all over it and in position to knock Fury out and recycle them back. So at the end of that jam, it was 12 points to 0. Lots of 2-1-2s around today. 2-1-2 the scoreboard, 1-2 for that jam, and of course 2-1-2 for Dilemma out there as well. So 2s, 2-1s, and also, you know, we're going to go through all the other numbers with 2s in them. On screen, we have time to initial per jam. As you can see, it is a lot quicker there, a lot more jams being picked up lead very, very quickly. The Banshees taking a bit longer for the Firetail jammers. And then penalties. We are now seeing a few more of the blockers on the Banshee side picking up penalties. And again, pretty clean around. No one in serious trouble penalty-wise. Furies D up against Faster Chief. The Mad Splatter trying to stop Faster Chief. Faster Chief just doing a beautiful little bean dip to get past. Clutch. Picking up lead. Few people hitting the ground there from the Firetails, allowing Chief through. Westie was the last blocker holding on their 2 fingers in. Being called for a penalty. Unfortunately, I've given enough time for the rest of the Bankies to get back in front furiously before they could break through. The Mad Splatter and Jack getting beautifully out there. Mad Splatter with the drawback. And there's now a power jam for the Banshees as a cut was being called on the Furious D. Westie has returned to track after that penalty. Chief trying to convince Bonnie to call off the jam. Bonnie's like, nope, you're going to keep going. A little bit of an apex there from Chief. A couple of people in the crowd cheering, so Chief did a bit of a bow to acknowledge that cheer in regards to the apex. And by a couple of people, I mean Slender Jam and Marie from the rec crew. It's very mad. Carry 20-point jam there, 24-point jam there from Faster Chief, 0 for Firetails. Firetails will start this jam with 1 block in the penalty box and no one up from the matches and 2 blocks. Having just mentioned Slender Jam, mentioned there are a couple of people who aren't skating on the track in this game who are actually all back from the men's World Cup. So we've had Bonnie Jovi, as I mentioned, he's benching the Banshees. They were actually one of the bench crew for the Wizards at the World Cup. Not to be out that we sort of have Rush in the ref crew who was assistant with Stuart Van Hayek. Not that they've played they got the bench. I just knew that they were there. I did see a on screen a couple of times. So that's always really exciting when people from the Statewide Stampede are stepping up on that world level to help out and to play and that kind of stuff. And then a few other people around this weekend helping out at Statewide Stampede, also involved with the world. Beasting who will be in the next game is playing. The only official chorus group, Sandy Strider, is on the ref crew this weekend. So yeah, lots of involvement from statewide going across helping out on the world stage. In the meantime, we've got Lemon on their third scoring pass. Feral Ferret jamming Firetails. Dilemma and Crunch providing the bridging there to extend the packet. Both of them having come through Diamond Valley and then they're moving over to make their debut year with South Sea. And it does look like we have an official review from the signal from the sideline. Just having a look to see are they using that as a timeout or not. No, it looks like it is actually an official review. I'm going to go into the middle and find out what's going on. Okay, coming back from that official review. So that was Southsea were hoping to get a penalty on the jammer of the previous jam for a high block. It was determined that position had been established by the jammer, so the blocker actually moved their way into that position, and therefore, because that established line had been taken, it was not a penalty to the jammer. It was actually the blocker positioning caused the situation that the high block, well, appeared to have occurred. Sorry, I'm a little bit short of breath at the moment, but that's okay. So yeah, official review was denied in this instance. With just over 5 minutes remaining, we've got Watto and Fleetberg out on the track. Everyone's just getting into position. Oh, not 5 minutes left in the game. 11 minutes left in the game. I looked at the official review at the time. And with a beautiful outside line to get lead. Fleetberg still on their initial. That's flatter. Taking a tumble, but actually delaying that Fleetberg getting out, which means Watto has picked up 4 points in that first runs before Fleetberg actually picked up initial. Call off the Korean from Watto before either jammer hit the back again. Yeah, I was just told that next month, maybe Friday, this is actually their debut game this weekend. And they picked beautiful work out there, predominantly as a result, but the tenacity that they showed determination as a general, I didn't suppose it's there. I debut when as a general in the first half. Absolutely incredible work. Citrus with lead, no scoring for us. Ferret in 8 start pass to Fury's D. Actually, Fury's D hit the floor. So it was all managing to get back in front. There. That looks like just as the call off was occurring, a forearms penalty being picked up by Fury's D as jammer. So now fast chief on the Belgian stone for the launches. Chief with lead. Looks like a little bit of taking a goat action from the Banshees to make it a bit easier for Chief to get through scoring price there. However, it worked from Val getting themselves back in to the position pretty quickly. seriously is back on track. Starring great positioning out from the box from the fire tables, making it difficult for Chief to get past on the outside. And I mentioned before, I wasn't certain if it was G-Zilla's first game today or not, but they are relatively damaging skating. And we've also got the pivot currently mix off as their debut today, which is always exciting to see fresh up and comers. Fleabag picking up points, so fighting hard. Starring that's what it's trying to do a little bit of a swip there to get Watto through. Watto unfortunately hit the ground and to reset. However, in doing so, they were in a beautiful position to get a very quick star pass off to Mitzoff. Mitzoff positioning himself beautifully out there. Taking the star, unfortunately, Jan pulled off for them. Timeout being called by Donna Valley. From Sports Connection Australia, picking up some additional stats there according to that on stream. So time to initial and time to both of them time to initial with that lovely little dot graph showing just how much quicker Donna Valley has been managing to do it. And then the cumulative score up by Jan. Now we just have over 5 minutes remaining in this game. We have Lemon up against Correct. Lemon straight through on the outside, position there from K, just making sure the line was weaker. Lemon to step on through, not to be outdone. Initial pass there from Ferret. Call off occurring as Lemon was trying to stop the middle without stepping back onto the track after being hit into the apex. 3 points picked up there from Lemon and call off. I believe we've got that splitter out there as a German from Firetails. I think it might be. It is indeed the Mad Splitter for their first game as a jammer up against Faster Chief. Faster Chief doing some lovely little twist up, stepping on the inside to pick up lead. sparring and there below the mat splitter. Fury Steve had been the last one to stop Chief earlier, so making their way back to get into position for that swap pass now. Chief getting on through for another swing down. Unfortunately, Fury Steve turn around straight into 4 Banshee blockers after taking that start pass. Disgrace picking up a penalty there. Something all the fighters. Chief getting another swearing pass. And that's quite a few more. That's got Chief. Jam coming to its conclusion. That looks like it was a 20-point too fast Chief. Oh, I said disaster Chief. There's too many Chiefs out there today. Disaster Chief as the head ref. We have Fleabag up against Feral Ferret. Fleabag out with lead. One hit wonder with the hit there, knocking Feral Ferret to the middle of the track. Little Fury making a last-ditch effort to try and stop Fleabag. Fleabag turning around, exiting the engagement zone backwards. And then coming, as I say, my defects will be well for the back of Escobar. So better to be safe than sorry, taking the knee. Star pass has occurred to Jackson. The backwards entry from Fleabag. Looks like the star pass that occurred to Jackson earlier actually was not done for a point yet. So Ferrer did end up back as the jammer. Although no one served any time here, so I'm not sure exactly what happened. We do seem to have people double checking stuff at the end of his game. So before the whistle happens, an unofficial score is showing as 334. And the Banshees to the Firetails on 54. might be big deficit scoreboards, but lots of things for fighter that they can take away positively. And as I said, really great seeing the work there from their newer skaters, which is Zilla and Mitsov. The experience there of the Banshees just making it a little bit too easy for them to hold that small gap and all the jammers from getting on through. I do not believe we've had the roll on whistle yet because there's still some checking going on. Once that happens, we will then head to a break. The woman hitters give them a chance to catch their breath and get ready for the next game. So coming up next is Westside and Nerve in the breaking news up against today's host, Geelong Roller Derby, the Bloody Marys. Okay, it's still showing as an unofficial score, but listen, has occurred. So the final score 334 to the South Sea Banshees, 54 to the Darling Valley Maritales. I've been GD Bash. Lovely having you company for this game. And I will be up next in that news game with Sparks. So we'll see when that game is about to start.